Cool. So Ben is asking thoughts on why SPACs have declined over the past week. Chris P is asking why FMCI is going down. A lot of people asking about the weakness in SPACs. First of all, I think as a whole, we are going through a bit of a SPAC bubble. There are a lot of people who just don't understand. Like it's actually a pretty complex way to go public. And historically, it's been a vehicle that the kind of shittier companies go public through, right? So if you're a legitimate company with legitimate backing with enough like growth, run rate, and a great story and a great name, you probably go public through the normal IPO route and save a bunch of money as a company, and minimize dilution to the cap stack. But it just seems like there's some absolute bubble in demand, and a lot of these companies are kind of flipping public through this reverse merger stuff. So what I try to do with my analysis, it does seem like there's two camps. It's wildly overpriced, or that makes sense if you believe in the company and want to hold for like 5 to 10 years. So FMCI is like tattooed chef. I believe when I made that video, they're like 2 times, maybe 3 times. I think it was like 3.5 times sales and growing like crazy. I believe in like that frozen aisle vegan market, vegan, plant-based, whole kind of food trend. Like it's like a cauliflower crust pizza that I can microwave and it tastes good and I feel good about it. Like that's something I would eat. I think when I compare it to Beyond Meat, I think I would rather own FMCI over the long term than Beyond Meat at their insane multiples. I did cook a Beyond Meat burger. Tastes fine. Tastes good. Tastes like meat. I'll do a video on that at some point. Cool. So like I do like, let's look at FMCI. Like, so when you buy one of these SPAC companies, and you're talking about pre-revenue companies. So the probability distribution of if it succeeds or not is super wide, and the probability distribution of how successful it's going to be is super wide, right? We all know, like you all know, I started banging the table on Nikola being like just insanity at $90 a share, and now what is it, right? Like I was trying to warn people because that one was such a slap in the face. Because even if you believe in the company, they will never get that big enough to justify that valuation. So it's insane. But for an FMCI, if you just wait if you wait 5 years and they keep growing their revenue according to their budget, like this will pay off at $13 a share today, at 15. I think I did it at like 16, 17. Look, like if you're going to be in these super risky stocks and dream about the upside, you better have the stomach to hold through the downside if you believe in the company and if you got in at a reasonable price. If you didn't get in at a reasonable price, then, that was a mistake and potentially you should cut your losses, right? But to me, if you believe that Tattooed Chef as a company will continue to grow in sales over the next 5 years, it's a great hold and a speculative bet. But again, like I said, it has nothing compared to owning Facebook, Amazon, Spotify. Like I banged the table at Spotify with Spotify at like 150, I believe. And let's see, pulling this up. Yeah, 150. Like even Spotify is reasonable for what I believe its future holds. You shouldn't size like those big companies. You can't compare a large dominant company that is going to continue to dominate to a company that hasn't even sold anything yet or is still in its fledgling stage. So, and again, Robert's saying FMCI's online products cost so much. I don't think that's right. They have to get it on the aisle. That's how you sell frozen foods. Nobody buys specific brands of frozen foods to their office, to their house. So cool. Yeah, and people here are I think they're using SPACs to bet. And I think betting and day trading and all that stuff, it's all gambling, and gambling's fun when there's high volatility and you're basically betting if something happens or not. So if the merger goes through or they announce a merger and you hear a rumor and then it goes through, then you make a bunch of money. If it doesn't, then you lose a bunch of money. Like that's betting, right? we're here to invest. We're here to hold over the long term. So I like doing SPACs because it's fun. It keeps me relevant. If I talk to you about some boring company that's just going to compound capital, right? Like a lot of people aren't probably going to watch my channel, but I do think there's diamond in the rough, and my value add is I can actually analyze the SPAC structure and the pro forma valuation, which people don't even think about, right? So some of the SPACs, reasonable if you think that they're going to grow. Other ones like Nikola, like totally crazy, totally crazy. Cool.